Hi, this is Ash from Partnership Education, and today we're going to be having a look at Google Forms. So we're going to be doing a couple of examples. So the first one's going to be for distance learning or for a flipped classroom teaching method, and the second one's just going to be so that you can gauge to see how effective and how well the lesson's been understood. Okay, let's get started. So we're on the google.com homepage. Going to come across to the right and click the waffle or the 9 squares, and we're going to click Drive. Once we click Drive, we're going to come across to the left-hand side and click New and select Folder. And once that comes up, we're going to click and enter the name, so Science Week 1. And once that's created the folder, we're going to double click and I'm going to enter the folder. It's going to come up to the top left hand side and click New and More and Google Forms. Once that's started up, we're in the forms.google.com and we're going to click the untitled at the top and we're going to call this Science Week 1 Quiz 1. Okay, once we click away, that's going to take that title across and bring it down here, and we've got the option to create a description. So we're actually going to start by coming across and clicking the cog in the top right hand side, and on the general tab we're going to click collect email addresses. This is going to make it so that we don't have any anonymous entries and we can see every student's response. So we've got a number of other options, so we can restrict it, we can limit it to one response, we can make it so that they can or can't edit after submitting, and we're going to make it so that they can see the summary charts and text responses. We're going to keep it nice and simple and leave it on the general tab, and we're going to click save. So as you can see, it's going to populate this entry just here, just to let them know that it's going to be collecting an email address. We're going to come across to this toolbar just here, and the first example was the distance or the flipped classroom teacher method. So we're actually going to come down to add a video. Got the option to search directly in YouTube or use a URL. So I've already copied a URL and I've pasted it in here, and as you can see, it will bring it up a preview or a thumbnail of the video. This is a crash course chemistry and energy water video, so we're going to click select. Once we've selected that, it's going to populate it down here. I'm going to have the option to give it a title, so we're going to call this crash course chemistry and energy. And just here you can see that we've got the option to create our questions, so we're going to click back up here. And we're going to actually come across and change it from multiple choice and change it to a paragraph. So we're going to input our question. So we're going to say, please watch below video and name your favourite part. Okay, once we've populated our question, we're going to come down and select the required. And very quickly, we've been able to upload a video, we've created a question, and in preparation for a lesson, we can ensure that they've watched the video, we can make sure that they've understood it, and that they've reported back and let you know what their favourite part of the video was. Okay, so once we've populated that, if we want to take it one step further, we can come across to the responses tab. And as you can see, we've got no responses, but as people start filling in and submitting the form, you're going to see that start populating up. You're going to see some pie charts and some other graphs on how different people have added and filled in details. And as we come across, we've got the create spreadsheet. So as you can see, we have the option to create a new spreadsheet or an existing one. So we're going to keep it nice and simple and create a new one. Once we click create, that's going to open up a new tab. And once that's opened up that tab, we can see that we've got the timestamp of when they'll be filling it in, we've got the email address, and we've got the response. So quite quickly and very easy to see glance, we're going to be able to see all of the responses in one format. Okay, so if we come back to the quiz just here, we've also got the option to turn off if we don't want to accept any more responses. If you want to do it on a certain timed level, we can turn that off, or we can turn it back on again. And once we've populated all of that, that's ready to go. So that's our first example. We're going to come back to the folder. And as you can see, nice and neatly, it's created the form and it's also added the responses Google Sheet directly into there. So for our second example, we're going to click New again. I'm going to come down and click Google Forms. And this time we're going to click the title in the top left, do Science Week 1 Quiz 2. Again, that's going to populate the title just here. And straight away, we can jump in down to the questions below. We can make it so that it is a multiple choice. So for this bit, we can actually follow up after the lesson, start populating the questions, and we can get a better understanding of how effective the lesson has been. Okay, so we're going to do question 1, and we're going to add our options. So we're going to do A, B, C, D. We can come down and make it so it's required. We can change it if we wanted to a different type of question. We can duplicate this question if we want to quite quickly create another question, so question 2. And again, question 3, and that's going to keep all the attributes of being required. If we don't actually want that question, we can go across to the delete button at the bottom. And once that's come up, we can add it back in again if we wanted to. So we're going to call it question 3. So quite quickly, we could populate and create a quiz that's going to be able to follow up post our lesson and provide some feedback. So we're actually going to come across again. I'm going to click the cog, make it so it collects email addresses. We're going to make it so that they can't edit after submit. So we're not going to tick that box, and we're going to click save. Once we've clicked all of that, we can go to the responses. We can create another Google Sheet. And once we click create, that's going to populate another quiz Google Sheet with all of the information that we want. And as you can see, very quickly, we've got our 2 Google Forms with our associated Google Sheets for the responses for our 2 different examples. And then we have the option to send it out, so we can go directly back into our Google Form. We can click send, and we can type in an email address directly into here. We can grab the link if we want to copy it and add it onto a Google site or another format, or we have the option to embed it into a website. We also have the social media button, so we can share directly to Facebook or to Twitter. We're going to come back and we can just use the email field. So once we click that, we can come back and have a look in our folder. So for the second quiz, if we didn't want to do it directly in the Google form, we can come back, right click and click share. And from here, we can either use the link or we can enter people within our organisation or the email address directly into there. Okay, thank you for watching. So there are just a couple of examples of how we can use Google Forms. If you like the video, please click like. If you love the video, please click subscribe. Hit the bell notification to see upcoming videos. And if there's any questions or comments, add them in the comments below. Thanks for watching.